Alleluia, Alleluia. Everybody sing Alleluia, for the Lord has risen, it is true. Everybody sing Alleluia. 30.
I've posted several videos on the dangers of the Catholic Charismatic Renewal. Several people have commented on the videos with their testimonies about their experience with the Charismatic Novus Ordo Church. Eric Montes left a great comment, so we expanded upon it with an interview, which is posted to the playlist. The first video on this playlist was called The Catholic Charismatic Renewal. Did Jesus receive the baptism of the Holy Spirit? A viewer who goes by the name of Mary Brandybuck wrote in the comments section, even before finding this playlist, I agreed something was very wrong about the Charismatic Renewal. Frankly, I'm friends with a very well-known spokesman for the Renewal and his family and friends and several other Charismatic founders. They helped me some years ago with a lot of rosaries when I was in a lot of danger. I pray for them, and I love their families. But that being said, I don't think the Charismatic Renewal is Catholic, and this has caused a lot of conflict when I was directly asked and responded honestly. The fact that I openly reject the Novus Ordo and only attend the Latin Mass was even more problematic for some of the other Catholics in the group. It caused more tension and upset than with the Anglicans, who openly expressed interest and some even came to the Latin Mass with me. The visceral reaction against the Mass of Ages really cued me in that something was really not at all Catholic about it. Then an unhinged charismatic posted a response demanding answers from Mary. I should note that the same person posted several rude comments to many commenters on the videos in the playlist, and most were hateful. I was forced to delete those. Interestingly, it turned out that the person hadn't even watched any of the videos. He or she was just there to harass the people making the comments. But Mary charitably replied and said, "My conclusions on the charismatic movement stem from its Protestant founding and its fruits. It does not escape me that nearly every person I grew up with who was raised in a family of charismatic Catholics no longer practices. The idea that it brought a renewal is indisputably false. Look at the numbers of priests and religious in the U.S. and Europe alone, which have not recovered and continue to decline." My initial conversation was extremely mild with the leader of the charismatic movement, whom I respect. I asked if he felt comfortable with the lack of reverence toward the Eucharist in the movement, especially in its reception, and if it was possible such practice pointed toward greater problems in theology. I come from an Anglican family, and I'm well acquainted with Anglican history, which has a core of loss of belief in the real presence once the practices surrounding the reception of the Eucharist changed. For me, it is a huge warning sign to see a movement become irreverent toward the Eucharist. The response I received was a refusal to answer from him, and another person who overheard my question became defensive and irate and accused me of not respecting my elders and not understanding how beautiful the changes were. And when I asked, "I just don't understand why the change was necessary," I received no response. I was told I was not welcome to ask such questions again. The strong reaction bothered me, so I looked further into the movement's history and found other things that really bothered me. Women laying hands on others with no authority, when that was always a priestly restricted power in the Old Testament. Possession caused by this laying on of hands. Speaking in language that clearly aren't even real. And the hostility toward church doctrine and teaching that predated the 1960s. It's not in line with Paul's "hold fast to the traditions you have received." And then in the comments section, there was another rude response by the charismatic that I had to delete. But Mary responded again. I think the channel called Armor of God has a video by an exorcist talking about the dangers he has run into with people laying hands on others they have no authority over. You might want to look into it. I've spent some time working closely with an exorcist, and he has the same experience, so I personally stay away from anyone doing that. If priests from that line of work tell me it's dangerous, I am definitely going to stay away from it. And then about 1 year ago, I posted a video called "The Catholic Charismatic Renewal is a Dangerous Ecumenical Movement." Denise Maslowski left a comment, and she wrote, "I left the church for 10 years, ending up in a non-denominational charismatic church. I met a lot of former Catholics who came there after they were a part of the Catholic Charismatic Renewal. But I came back to the Catholic Church in 1995. I would never suggest any Pentecostal movement. It had already happened in the book of Acts." So, Do you have any experience with the Catholic Charismatic Renewal that has affected your life? Please let me know down in the comments section. I won't share your comments with anyone unless you give me permission. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be back in about a week or so with another one, but in the meantime, please check out my Facebook page, my page on X, and my new page on Instagram. Every day I post additional content that you won't find on this YouTube channel, and also, please pray for the church.